Have you ever been on a path that you had no idea where it was leading, but it was just so beautiful that you had to see where it was going? Well, that's kind of like what my journey with Truth Media has been like. If you would have told me in the spring of 2009 that in less than a year I would be mentoring individuals on the internet, working with one of the ministries of Power to Change, I would have never believed you. But as I have begun to discover the way that lives were being transformed through the work of Truth Media, I became more and more convinced that this is what God was calling me to. If you want to find out more about the scope of the work of Truth Media, why don't you go and watch one of my other videos. There you'll discover how over 4.5 million people have been exposed to the hope that comes through friendship with Jesus Christ as they interact with the websites and talk with the mentors of Truth Media. It is an amazing ministry, and I get to be a part of it. I get to join with God in creating a great awakening in our world today through the use of the internet. The most exciting part of my role will be the daily online mentoring that I get to do. As people visit one of our 40 different websites and are introduced to how Jesus answers their most important questions, they're invited to have a conversation with one of our online mentors. Here I get to meet people like a man from Pakistan who was struggling with thoughts of suicide. As I read through the circumstances that brought him to the place of deciding his life was more valuable to his family dead than alive, my heart just ached for him. But it was so cool to be able to share how I had found hope in the knowledge that God values each and every one of us, that He has a specific plan for each of our lives. I was also able to direct this guy to some Christians there in his hometown in Pakistan who could help encourage him and give him some practical measures of how to get his life back under control. Every day there are people like that on the internet struggling for answers to life. And the online mentors of Truth Media are there to love, to encourage, and to point people to the transforming truth of the Bible. Not only will I be an online mentor with Truth Media, but I will also be mentoring other mentors. We have over 400 volunteers that are working with Truth Media, and we want to make sure that they're equipped and empowered to be able to carry out that role consistently. As a community leader, I will connect on a regular basis with a group of mentors to make sure that they have the training and resources that they need to carry out that role consistently. It can sometimes be an isolating job working as an online mentor, and so it'll be part of my role to make sure that each one of those dedicated workers knows that they are a part of a family that's working together towards building the kingdom of God here on earth, and that they always have somebody there if they need encouragement or prayer. Another exciting part of the role that I'm going to be involved in is to connect with churches and recruit more volunteers to be involved in the mentoring of Truth Media. I'll also be meeting with church leaders and sharing with them how they can develop their own online mentoring program. In that way, using the infrastructure and the expertise of the Mentor Center, they'll be able to connect with people in their own community and share with them the hope of Jesus, even if they're too intimidated to walk through the front door of the church building. In order to carry out this job description, I am going to need a huge network of partners who are joining with me in bringing hope to hurting people. The most important way for you to partner with me is through prayer. Truth Media has developed a very sophisticated platform for our websites, for the chat rooms, and for the Mentor Center. But if God's not actively involved in the ministry, the results are going to be empty. I need people who will pray for me and for the ministry of Truth Media. There are so many ways that the work of Truth Media can be compromised, and we need an army of people interceding on our behalf on a daily basis to overcome those obstacles and to clearly communicate the good news of Jesus Christ. A couple of years ago, a country whose government is often hostile to the gospel of Jesus Christ blocked one of our websites. A few people took this on as a prayer challenge and diligently prayed for that situation. And in a couple of months, that block was lifted. I know that's an example of the intervention of our God. We need that kind of prayer on our behalf every day. I'm also looking for people who can pray with me. When I receive a message from somebody on the internet, I'm able to send off a quick message to a few partners to ask them to join me in prayer for that individual, so that it's more than just me that's praying for them, but there's a broad base of intercession going up on their behalf. You could be a part of that team. I'm also dependent on the financial support of individuals to carry out the work of this ministry. It's because of the generosity of people like you that I'm able to draw on income and cover the ongoing costs of the work of this ministry. The way partnership works with Power to Change is ultimately I am fundraising on behalf of the organization. They're the ones who can receive the charitable donations and issue the tax receipts. For every dollar that is sent for my ministry, they place 86 cents into my staff account, which covers my salary and the expenses of the ministry. The remaining 14% goes towards the overhead of the organization to cover administration and facility costs. I would ask that you would spend some time in prayer, considering if God is calling you to partner financially with me in this ministry. I am certain that God has called me to this role with Truth Media, and I know that He is calling others to join me, to partner with me in prayer and finances as we change the world through the internet. People have asked me how much they should commit, so I've broken down my total financial goal into amounts that I think will help as you discern God's direction. See, I'm going to need a few people who will give between $5,000 and $12,000 per year in order to make the goals that we have set feasible. I'm also looking for people who God is calling to give between $1,200 and $2,400 per year to make up the bulk of the partners on my team. I'll also need a great army of people who are able to give between $15 and $50 per month in order to provide a broad base of support for the ministry God is calling me to. I know that if God has called you to partner with me in this ministry, He's also going to be clear in the way He directs the amount that you should give. So how do you get those funds to Power to Change? Well, we want to make sure that you have options in the ways that you give that fit with your fiscal planning. Those funds can be sent on a month-by-month basis, quarterly, annually, or as a one-time gift. The money can be sent by check, through automated bank withdrawal, by credit card, or you can go to powertochange.org and follow the links to Ways to Give and Support a Staff Member. And there you will find my name and set up your giving online. If you want more information, get in touch with me by email or by phone, and I can walk you through that process and respond to any questions that you have. So as God leads you to partner with me in the ministry of Truth Media, this is what your investment will accomplish. Through your partnership, we'll be able to share the good news of Jesus Christ with people all over the world who are on the internet looking for answers to life. Through your investment, we'll be able to encourage those who are already followers of Jesus to daily deepen their walk with Him. Through your partnership, we'll be able to mobilize hundreds of volunteers to actively share the good news of Jesus Christ with people who are on the internet looking for answers. And through your investment, we'll be able to partner with churches like yours, to develop an online mentoring program that will reach out into their community, maybe even your friends and neighbors. So come on, why don't you join with me? Let's help your friends and your neighbors and the world find God on a website.